Yeah, sure. So as far as it relates to online dating or just in general?
Uh, in general, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, sure. So um, I would say for me, in terms of just kind of like where I started, yeah, not too much social experience like growing up and all that stuff, dating experience and whatnot. So, um, and then a few years ago, I found out about like game and all that stuff and started mainly doing like cold approach and social circle. That's where I was getting the majority of my results and all that stuff. But then, yeah, I started doing online about March of 2019. So I started then. And then, yeah, I mean, I would say like when it comes to that, it's just mainly getting your photos right, making sure that your SMV is as high as possible, fashion, all that stuff. I think all those things are very crucial.
S-
And then, yeah, the
what was it that you said? S and what?
SMV,
SMV. What does that stand for?
yeah,
For people that don't know.
sexual, yeah, sexual market value.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's yeah, and then then from there, like the results, uh, definitely started coming. First it started with like more matches, and then from there, also incorporating the text game to be able to convert those matches, right? So I think it's basically you just have to like optimize many of these different processes, because everyone has different sources of lead generation, right? So yeah, I think it's basically like a sales funnel.
And do you just do online, or you also do cold approach?
I mean, these days I mainly just do online. Cold approach is it's kind of more difficult to do these days, especially in LA. But I'm starting to notice that the city's starting to pick back up, so I'll probably get back out there again. You know.
And what would you suggest, like, to get your sexual market value up, or at least to like present that?
Yeah, definitely. So a couple things I would say, because right, like I feel like a lot of people too, like even if they are higher sexual market value, they just don't market themselves as such through their photos, right? So I think getting a good photographer definitely can help you optimize that. And then also, obviously, hitting the gym, making sure get the fashion on point. Yeah, just hairstyle, like grooming, all these things, right? You just got to pay attention to. And yeah, I would say that pretty much takes care of it for the most part. Um, yeah.
Text wise, what do you usually like say to a chick when she first matches or whatever?
So it really just depends, man. Really just depends on the girl. But I would say for the most part, though, I try to be more direct if I can pull it. Main reason why is because like you just because the thing is though, like a lot of girls, like especially online, right? A lot of them are like attention seekers and like will sort of just be on there strictly for the validation, mainly because again like they got other people that they're seeing and all this other stuff, right? So you just got to be able to figure it out, like in terms of you know, being able to determine whether or not there's like a time waster or someone that's like an actual, lead, I guess.
So do you say that you want a relationship, or do you say you're just looking for like non-monogamy, or what?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I've never been monogamous in my life, so I think like that's never going to be a thing for me. I think for me, it's definitely. I'm used to having a certain sort of lifestyle. Like I'm more busy with like just being on my purpose and like work and like all this other stuff, right? So being in like one of those monogamous relationships and whatnot, it's just I think it's definitely not something that I would do.
So basically, you're just working on yourself, like making money, uh,
Yeah,
staying healthy, and making that your main priority, rather
yeah,
than
basically.
some of these guys that make the girl their priority and end up ruining their life because of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think like when you start to make like girls and all that stuff your priority, like you definitely lose out because again like they can sense it. They can sense it when you care and like all this other stuff and like then from there I mean it is what it is, right? It's just kind of the nature of things, right? Like people want what they can't have, so you make yourself more unavailable naturally increases just kind of like the attraction and all that stuff, and like I mean, there's all these like strategies and games and all that stuff. I mean, it's an interesting world that we live in. You know, it's just more like you can't be mad at it though. It's more like you just have to learn how to adapt to the current environment. I would say. I think like that's usually the good skill set to have. The better you are at being able to adapt to changing circumstances and tailoring your approach to the changing circumstances, not being too stubborn about, you know, focusing on like an approach that you just find comfortable and being able to move out your comfort zone. I think that is especially important, especially in today's time, because, you know, obviously with like, you know, online and like social media and like all these other things, right? Like it's becoming more and more like you just gotta, just gotta be able to figure it out.
Are there any like books or anything that have helped you out that you would suggest for like guys that are trying to get better?
Oh yeah, I think when you're starting out, I think the best thing that you could do is try to figure out like psychology. So like psychology books, you know, about human psychology, female psychology. So, you know, Rational Male is a good recommendation. I think there's some good points in there. The problem is, you know, again, like you just have to be careful with the content that you consume, right? Because sometimes it can make you a little negative and, you know, bitter because, you know, again, like you start to realize, oh shit, like this is kind of how the world is, you know, it's like, this is how they operate. This is how people operate, you know? And then it makes you like a little bit, you know, cynical and negative and whatnot whenever you speak to anybody. And even like during dating and all that stuff, or like you just develop trust issues and all these other things. But I think you shouldn't get mad at like other people or even the girls that you're dating. You should get mad I guess you could just get mad at like Mother Nature or something like that, because it's just the way things are, you know? It's just how we're, you know, are as humans, I guess. But the perspective that I come from is like, look, everyone's like looking out for themselves, right? So it's understandable, you know, like when people talk about these qualities like loyalty, etc., and all that stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, I get it, but to be honest though, like, can't really expect that from anyone, to be honest. The main reason why is because it's just not practical, because they're humans, you know, they are animals, right? We're all animals. We're nothing special about us. That's my perspective, right? And that's kind of how I view the world, I would say.
So I saw that you went to the University of Michigan. It's pretty good. What did you study?
I studied like econ and a little bit of math.
Oh, okay, so that understands how you're like relating to lead generation and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like, you know, just like sales and, you know, that sort of thing too. So, yeah, it's a combination of that for sure.
What kind of, I don't know, technology do you use to like find, now I'm going towards entrepreneurship, find like leads for a business or whatever. Do you ever use anything like seamless AI or anything like that?
Not really, no. I haven't really been focused too much on the entrepreneurship route. Because, you know, again, like I work jobs and all that stuff, and like, you know, that's mainly my focus, I would say. Um, yeah, yeah. I think like those would be the main things. But I forgot to mention as well, as it relates to like the online stuff, you know, I'm not sure if you know Playing with Fire. So like Playing with Fire has definitely, you know, helped me out. You know, credit to like Nitin and like Alex for helping me out. And you know, as far as like, you know, speaking to girls and like the in-person game as well, you know, I'll credit like what is it, Ultimate Man Project as well. Yeah, those guys definitely helped me out with certain situations and basically helping me out with like my my in-person sort of game,
Did you get coaching
like
from
verbals
Alex,
and all that.
or did you just talk to him in the group? Did you get coaching from Alex, or did you just talk to him?
Which Alex?
The one for Playing with Fire?
Oh, okay. No, I just speak to him every once in a while. I haven't gotten like specific coaching from him. It's just more, you know, being in the group, you know, like reading their content, right, and applying it. I think, you know, that's definitely helped me out. And Nitin, right? I used to live with Nitin, and you know, I was able to see like how he changed his life because I knew him when he was a virgin, and like, you know, he completely changed his lifestyle and everything, you know. Like,
Nitin, a guy
and the
who
results.
works with Alex?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you know those guys like personally?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that explains.
Yeah. Nitin, I'm like
your
good friends with.
success.
Huh, yeah.
So how long did it take you to like get the kind of progress you get?
As far as online goes, honestly, not that long. Um, because I think like the better profile that you get, like the more opportunities you have to like experiment and like try stuff out, and like, you know, basically you can go for like the meetup, and like there's just more compliance overall, right? So like things become easier, right? Like they will make it easy for you, right? The girls will make it easy for you, right? You don't have to like think of the best line to say as much, I would say. But I mean, to be honest though, like obviously like that still helps, obviously. Like if you can, because then you can be able to have the skill to like turn around like girls that just really aren't into you, like in the beginning. And then like you get them intrigued enough and then they'll meet you out on a date just because of curiosity. But yeah, most of the time it's just going to be like, the ones that are like already into you, like just from looks perspective. And then you just convert it from there, right? Basically just get them out on a date and then, go from there.
What apps do you usually use?
Yeah, I mean, I use the major ones, like Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble, and like I've gotten like mixed results off of each. I would say, like these days, it's been more Tinder, like these past few weeks and a month. Um, but before, a few months ago, over the summer, Hinge was doing pretty good, Bumble was doing pretty good, but Tinder was doing okay. So it just really depends, to be honest. I think it's just like the more time you put into a specific app as well, like they're always sort of changing the way the app works almost. I think it's starting to become like the more you're on a specific app, at least with Bumble and I think Tinder maybe as well, where, again, the more you're on an app, the more better results you'll have. And also like, these days, right, like the apps are just like rewarding a lot of people to spend money. So there's also that.
So you feel like Tinder's gotten worse as it's gotten older because of that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like it's gotten worse in the sense of like you just need to pay, pay for stuff. Um, right? You can't just simply like use free services anymore. I think like especially as a guy, right? As a girl, like yeah, you can use the free shit because like you'll get good results either way. Like they don't even have to try. Like it's becoming more skewed, like in their favor, I would say. So that's just kind of what I noticed.
You suggest guys pay for the apps or just use the free version?
No, I would recommend you pay. I mean, like, granted, again, like you've gotten good results on online before. Like it's just, something to help you out, I would say for sure. But if you get like absolutely no results on online, it wouldn't really help. I would say like if your profile's not good to begin with at all, then I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay. And also, have you done any traveling and like used online dating while you were traveling?
Actually, no, not really. I think it's more like whenever I'm in a specific city, uh, I'll just use it. But in terms of traveling, I haven't really done too much of that, at least recently, right? Because I only started an online game relatively recently. Like it's been like a year and a few months. So, uh, yeah, I mean, like I just been in LA for the most part.
So you've never traveled and like done, I don't know, gone to clubs and tried to pick up women or anything like that?
Well, that yes, I have, but like that was before I got into online. Is what I'm saying.
Any success there, or anything that
I guess some.
what was like your game plan when you were traveling?
I mean, to be honest, it was just mainly figuring out the main spots. Just kind of also understanding like, like just like thinking about like compliance, right? Like, where would I have to find like the most highest compliance, like girls and like, the right sort of environment as well. Like, is it like easy to talk in? Like, is it, the volume and all these things, the ratio, right? So basically just figuring that out wherever you travel to and then going to those locations, I would say is like important.
That's cool. That's cool. So do you have like any, I don't know, any pickup guys or dating coaches that like you suggest people checking out that like have inspired you or influenced you like just over the years?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure everybody knows of RSD. and whatnot, right? So I think like my favorite from there is like Julian. I think like in the past, like some content that he had, like he was definitely there's definitely some good content there. Like especially when it relates to like emotions and that sort of thing, and like being able to create this emotional roller coaster, right? And then from there, I would say like in it like these days for me, I really only follow Playing with Fire and Ultimate Man Project, right? So like from Ultimate Man Project side, Alexander Lindbergh, Marcus Wolf, and David Swift definitely have some good content. And then Playing with Fire, Nithin and Alex V, right, have good content. It's like different styles though, so it's like it's cool to like see the pros and cons of each, and mix and match. I would say, yeah, I would say like those things, those people definitely are good. Yeah, in terms of others though, like I haven't really seen too many others. Well, I guess like CL from like Chen City is another good example, but he's not really focused on like pickup per se anymore these days. At least teaching it, I think. Trying to think who else. Oh, it's Saul T, but he doesn't really teach pickup anymore. Yeah, I mean, there's like a few guys like in the community as well that like don't necessarily like, I would say like teach pickup, but like they're good examples. I would say like for like different aspects like of game. Because some guys they wonder about like cold DM, like Instagram and all that stuff, right? Like so, I think Jeff Powell is a good example of that. So,
Have you ever done anything with Instagram?
What'd you say?
Have you ever gotten any luck with just texting girls on Instagram?
Not really, no. Granted, though, I never really tried and experiment with that. So, I mean, I'll probably start doing that because I think like that is definitely a good opportunity to try out as well. Yeah, I mean, like most of the time, whenever I do get results off Instagram, it's like more I move from online to Instagram. Like I get their IG from online and then move to there. But no cold DM I've gotten a result from. So.
And when let's say you get the girl to like come out with you from dating app, whatever dating app you're using, and you guys are meeting somewhere, where do you usually meet, and what's your like? When do you start like escalating, and like what exactly is going through your mind once you got the girl in front of you?
I would say, most of the time it's like I'm not meeting them in a public place. They usually come straight over to my house, and then from there, I just kind of just like do like more verbal escalation for the most part, and then like I kind of like just give them a massage and just kind of go from there. It's nothing complicated to be honest. Like most of it's kind of already done with the texting. I would say most of it's already done with texting and like the actual profile, right? Like that's the thing with like online. It's more like you just have to be able to like not fuck it up once you get the actual meet. Sometimes, like every so often, yes, you will have to like raise their interest even more to be able to get the compliance to like bring them over to your place or something, or even like them being comfortable to like want to get a massage from you and things like that, right? So every once in a while that'll happen, but for the most part though, it's like pretty straightforward, I would say, because again, you guys are usually on the same page, and like these days I would say like a lot more girls are looking for more casual. They're not looking for anything exclusive, and I think that's happening more and more, I would say.
Yeah, like 80% of women don't want to get married, at least like in this the Generation Z. I was reading.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly.
What do you tell them when you're like suggesting coming over to your house? You say, "Oh, we get a bottle of wine" or something like that. Is that your?
Yeah, exactly. Something simple. Yeah, exactly. Just like, yeah, let's split some wine, in my place and whatnot, right? And then, again, since the texting is already sort of under a sexual premise, they're down for it, right? It's like not really any surprises per se. Every once in a while, yes, like they'll want you to like speak to them on like FaceTime or like phone call so that, they know that you're a real person and you're not a catfish, So, I mean, that'll happen every once in a while, but yeah.
Okay, that's cool, man. Well, yeah, I don't want to like stretch it too long because then it will like have a huge ass file. But I think we covered some pretty valuable information here that will help a lot of guys. Appreciate you coming on, and if you're willing to come on another time, maybe we could do this again. Are you
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah, I think I should be. Yep. All right, thanks, man.
So this is Ravi. I'll put some information in the description about you, and if you want a link or whatever, I can link to something too. But anyway, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
And take it easy.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
glorybe9nights.com